So, hi people, this side Abhishek here. Hope all of you are doing great and wishing you all a very happy Sunday today. So, today I am going to have a different guest for which we are going to talk about image consultancy, and also with keeping a check in the image, we are also going to talk about something new, that what content creators of this new age era needs. So, I am going to be joining with Sandhya Anantani. She is an ace image consultant. So, yeah, let me have her on board, and yeah, she would be just joining me in a while. So let's welcome her, and let's get to know what it is to get more about know about more how content is created with an image appeal and with confidence. So just let me add her to yeah, let me just invite. Yeah, hi Sandhya, how are you?
Hi Abhishek, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Absolutely fine.
Great, thanks for asking. So viewers would like to know about content first of all. So, how effective content is created nowadays, if you see?
Right. See, first of all, you have to understand the field that you're in, right? The ambit or the purview of that field, and identify what in that would the listener be interested in, or how would what is the takeaway that your audience would have from the content that you're creating. So, I personally feel that identifying a target audience is very important. Who are you creating that content for? I'll just give you an example that image consulting is a very wide field, right? I mean, we go from soft skills trainers to makeup artists, styling, wardrobe consultants, personality development sessions. There's a huge area of work. But then, what is my niche in that area, and what would my audience want from me? Is the identification one needs to create.
Yeah. So, a content can be varied accordingly to the target audiences and according to the appeal which a certain age would want. So,
Right.
you yourself into field of content creation. So, you
Yeah.
have been churning out some great content on LinkedIn and other social media platforms like Instagram. So, what basically motivates you to bring out content, and that too in a very effective manner, keeping in mind both your image, your niche content, and the appeal which you want to provide it.
Right. So, again, I'll go back to the basics that identifying what I am good at or what I am strong at, what is the value that I can create for somebody else. I also work as a soft skills trainer, and a lot of my work deals with telling people about time management or personality management in various areas. So, finding that area where Sandhya Anantani can create an impact on somebody is what I'm focusing on. So
True.
I always look at my audience and see, in that particular age group or that particular kind of job profile. For example, a lot of people who associate with me are on leadership positions in their organization, right? They are people who have recently gotten a promotion or who've recently gotten to a new job role. Now,
Yeah.
what would that person be wanting from hiring an image consultant is what I focus on. And that gives me an insight as to how do I go about creating my content.
True. True. And how image as for a content is important, because people nowadays are creating content like from anywhere, but then
Right.
you also need to take care of the image part. Now, how you can work on the image part to enhance your content? So what are the tips do you suggest to the new age content creators when it comes to having that image kind of thing in mind?
So, Abhishek, it's very important to realize that we are a very visual world right now, right? The last 4 months need not be explained to anybody. Everybody knows that we've all gotten online suddenly. Meetings are now more on screen than face to face. So, the
Yeah.
impact of visuals has really increased. In fact, I think the whole generation, yours, mine, and people who are even a few years older or younger to us, the visual
Mm-hmm.
impact is very important right now. And also, if you see, people remember the visuals more than the voice. So even today, I'm sure for people who are watching us, they would remember how I am speaking or what I look like or, the things that we are saying. rather than, so much about the story. So visual is very, very important is the first thing that I would say. Consistency in visuals, ensuring that your visuals are not distracting, that the fact that your audience, when they look at the screen, they find something pleasing. It shouldn't be disturbing. It shouldn't be going against the message that you are giving. I'll again give you an example from my own personal thing. Like I said, that I work on personality, I work on people's dressing and those areas. Now, I myself cannot look haggard and shabby and then talk to people about looking great or, talk to people about visual impact. I have to first imbibe that in myself and then be able to train people on it, right? So that's very important. Think of the content that you are creating and again, look at the visual that needs to go with that content.
So yeah, I think both visual and audio plays a very important role nowadays. And
Absolutely.
I wanted to know one more thing, that what people, those new age content, why I'm focusing more on new age content creators because of this pandemic. There are a lot of
Right,
people who have
right,
started creating content. Earlier, they were
right,
all were like, basically were content consumers. But now they have
right,
all started creating content. And that's a good
right.
sign that people are coming up with something new every time. People want to
Yeah,
see variety. People want to, experience something new. So the
right,
new age content creators, if you look at,
right.
what are the other as variants, your target audience or your content creators want nowadays? If I ask you for your image consultancy business
Hmm.
overall.
So, looking in particularly with my business, I think the feel that I have been getting lately in the last couple of months is people are really looking at, emotional quotient or how, to balance work in life, things which are more personal. I remember this great line from a movie that I once saw, and they said everything in the end, to relate it to a human, comes down to emotional balance. How this person is able to emotionally balance himself. The other professional life takes care of itself. Of course, right now it is a little tough to focus on professional, but it takes care of itself if the person is balanced in his thought or in his emotions. So I've been asking my audience also lately, what is the content that they want me to talk about, or what is the thing that they want me to focus on. And a lot of people are talking about emotional, the management, or talking about stress management, or talking about self management. So I've recently started engaging with my audience more on a personal level. In fact, messaging them on LinkedIn also. Those are the things I don't really post, but I have been engaging with my audience off, the visible platform also, to ask them what is that I can provide for them. And based on the feelers that I get or based on the conversation that I have, I then look at, what is in my kitty that I can produce for them. So, audience engagement is very important, but also talking to your audience, getting this feedback from them, I think is very important in how you create your content.
Absolutely, because I think your responsibility also comes into picture where you are creating a content. You are
Right,
responsible for the way you present. You are
right,
responsible for the way you are expressing your content. Because I
right,
think content to हर कोई create कर रहा है. But then if you want to hit the target audience, if you want to get maximum out of your content, be it monetize wala thing or be it like on a value based way. So you need to have the right etiquette. You need to have the right frame of mind to deliver that.
right.
So
Absolutely.
I've been, watching your journey closely. So you have worked with people who are on a leadership skill or
Right.
leadership level, yeah, KMPs basically. So what is that one thing which you try to, inculcate with them which they lack over a period of time, maybe?
You'll be very surprised at this, Abhishek, and this is something that has happened time and again, right? Whenever I engage with people who are at a certain position, I
Mm-hmm.
feel everything boils down to confidence.
Okay.
These people have picked up a lot of technical skills. They've really worked in their life and they've come to a certain level. But even there, they are now hands-on with their industry, but not
Mm-hmm.
really so hands-on with interacting with other people outside their industry, creating an impact with their communication, or engaging with people more productively. So I feel that no matter what age or what position you are in, a lot of people who come to me personally do work or need work on their confidence level. This is even if to just, like I said, talk to people from other industry, be able to present themselves more effectively. So that is one area that I've always identified, and it still amazes me, that, like I said, people can be very, very successful and yet not find the confidence within them to interact with a wider audience.
So just coming back to the confidence part. So what is that one thing which is stopping them? Is it the way that they are so in their comfort zone that they don't want to get out of their comfort zone? For an example, like they are so consumed in their role that they don't even feel like just going out all the way and just network, because they feel, yeah, ki now we are so consumed and exhausted in our own leadership role that we don't have the scope to go and network. But nowadays it's like people want to connect with people from other background, or from people coming up from other profession, from other business altogether. So what is that one thing which confidence wise they are not able to get?
Most of these people have reached positions of power or influence by being very, very focused on their work. And I feel while it is a great advantage, the single minded focus that people have, that the passion, the drive to excel in their field, while they have it, a lot of times they're blindsided, or, they don't consider the other aspects of their personality, or, getting out there and interacting with an audience. So this I feel is lacking for most of the people who are really successful. I think the vision becomes very narrow for them.
Narrow,
So
right?
at a certain point in time, they do want a wider vision. They want to now suddenly be more knowledgeable, present
Mm-hmm.
themselves, or create a more influential presence, but then they
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to go about it.
So how image management and how Sandhya Anantani comes into picture? Now,
Yeah,
you get
right,
into a picture, and then now you try to get them into that zone that they think outside of their comfort zone. They think out of the box. And
right,
that's what leadership is all about nowadays. Leadership is not about having a tag of a leader, but what it means to take ownership, to get
right,
out of their comfort zone. Because if they won't get out of their comfort zone, their subordinates, their fellow executives working under them, they won't understand. They won't get that kind of leadership lessons from them, which is very important. So,
right.
how do you, ignite that fire within themselves? That, oh, now with Sandhya coming into picture, what's the USP of your program which makes them shift gears?
All right.
Now,
I will clarify a little bit here.
okay.
These people are in leadership positions and they are very influential in their organizations. They've got teams that are thriving. They are, looking at these people for constant leadership, guidance, direction, and they are doing it perfectly well, but within their organization.
Within their organization.
Yes. Now there comes a point when they want to now look out. A lot of these people are so focused on their jobs that they forget that their visual communication also becomes very important as they go ahead, right? They get too conscious, or they get very, again, they're not very aware about the global trends in terms of visual communication, how people look, how people act and behave, or what is the business etiquette globally, right? So how Sandhya Anantani comes into picture is I identify these gaps for them. So there is a detailed discussion that I have with my clients, and I identify the areas where these people need to work in. These can be in terms of their body language, their verbal communication. A lot of times, like I said,
Yeah.
they are very good at their profession, but they don't really know much about the world or what is happening around them. So I, as an image consultant, as a conversationalist, I'm very proud of the fact that I do read a lot. I gather knowledge from around the world. I participate in a lot of debates, even within the family or different business circles. But I like to stay hands on with what is happening. Then, when I meet a client and I identify that these are also areas that this person lacks in, that is where I come in. I find out where this person needs to be visible, where he needs to be heard, what he needs to say to be heard and be influential, and then I create a program that combines these elements.
Absolutely, because nowadays what is happening, like you need a virtual appeal. You
Right.
just leaders nowadays, they are not that, the way they are consumed so much within their role, within their organization. They need a visual appeal so that they can be reachable to other places where they can be heard. And I think social media is the best place nowadays, where people can be heard and then be followed back. So
Right.
that is the best thing about it. And one more thing which I want to know, that for a person who is not on a leadership role, a person like an executive or coming to you, So what sort of things you identify with that person? It may vary case to case. But then what are the other things you, as a consultant, because you are a consultant, so what basic problems they come up with? Is this more with related to soft skills, more with personality, or more with image?
I would say, these are all areas which have one thing in common, an individual, right?
Okay.
So an image is of a person. This person can be an executive, a leader, a homemaker, anyone. But this individual is common in all these three. And he requires everything. He requires image, soft skills, at the same time, personality development. So for an executive, the challenge is a little different. While for a leader, he needs to become, wiser about or have a larger vision, taper his communication in a way that he can appeal to a different kind of audience. He's not going to be talking to, people who are absolute newbies and freshers. He's going to talk to other leaders. So his communication has to be more impactful. For an executive, the communication has to be more, at his level of work also. So for him, interpersonal skill becomes very important. For him, time management, self management becomes very important. At the same time, it's also essential that this person identifies that he'll have to pick up a lot of skills as he goes or progresses into his career. So I help them identify what are these missing links that he has, and he can work on and improve it. For executives per se, I believe that communication is definitely a large challenge because they don't really have the experience, right, to be able to build stories on or draw from when they are speaking or presenting an argument. Here,
Yeah.
language becomes very important.
Barrier.
So,
Now, AK
yeah,
Patel has a. I'll come back to that. AK Patel has a question: how to find our own passion so we work on that and become master in it. So, are there any tricks and traits to find your own passion, to find your own mojo, which you will
right,
enjoy? Yeah.
right. So, yeah, I think, since you're a child or you're growing up and, you've gotten some control on the activities that you can take up and, manage, you will identify that there are certain things that, that give you tremendous joy. And it's not one of those hobbies, one of those many hobbies that you have, but this particular thing that gives you tremendous satisfaction and you're also very good at it. That's very important. If you're looking at monetizing your passion, then you have to be good at it. You cannot be a mediocre or enjoy it at a hobby level and hope it will make money for you. So identifying your liking for something, then assessing how good you are at it, and whether that will create any value for somebody else. I think you have to combine these three and check whether you can, monetize this or you can work on this as a livelihood. Otherwise, you can, of course, cultivate different hobbies and, dabble in it as and when you want to. But to identify a passion, there are a couple of elements that you have to really work on it in a more concrete manner.
More concrete manner, because I think patience is very key in this. Which my next question is around that thing. People, they love to go for instant gratification. That if I have invested, let's take an example. If I have invested in a certain program or a certain, for example, shares, I need return like within a month because I have invested in that. We are not here to wait. We are not playing the waiting game. We are not here being patient enough. We are chasing for that instant gratification. So
Right.
how do you cope up with people who comes to you for instant gratification, and then how you ask them or convince them that no, instant gratification is not the way to go forward, whereas delayed gratification is the way to progress. So how do you deal with such situation?
See, I think, everything or a lot of it is based on conditioning. I'm sure this is a word that everybody who's listening to me right now has heard it so often these days. People are right now looking at, the kind of social media that we engage in or the kind of platforms we are in. This instant gratification is becoming very important for us. Whatever we do needs immediate acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Now, if I am working with a client, it is very important for me to make an expectation management, right? So I tell them as to, what is the activity that I am doing, the fact that it is an intangible activity. Now, for an accountant, it's very easy, right? Every quarter he's supposed to file, or every month he's supposed to file for a GST. You'll have your statement, you'll have a certain amount that you have to pay for. It's very calculatable. But for image or for soft skills, things are not that tangible. Personality is not tangible. It can evolve, it can change, it can, grow or degrow as and when your experiences changes. But putting a timeline on thing or creating a visual way of, like I said, we are becoming very visual, right? So creating a visual map for people that they will progress through and setting milestones is very important. That is something that I personally feel happens a lot in my work, or that's how I function. That I create a timeline and different milestones that people can achieve. I document it visually through photographs, through videos, and through a lot of audio tapes and stuff. So they also understand that there is a certain growth. But uh, the fact is that my clients, they have a certain sense, or they are most of the times they're very mature people. They've seen a few decades in their life, and they now know how things function, and they know that instant gratification, not everything can be achieved instantly. However, it's not a never ending process also, although personality development is never ending. Aapka personality can grow, it will grow right through your life. But whatever your role or goal is in life, to based on that, if I can create a timeline and set milestones that people achieve, then I think the instant gratification thing takes care of itself. Then it's not that I don't see a change, or I should have changed yesterday and it hasn't happened. So
So it
there
has
are
to
ways
be,
of functioning.
yeah, the functioning has to be, according with going hand in hand with vision, because many people lack vision. They
Right,
don't
right,
go, they don't set a vision. They set a very
right,
short term vision that, like, for example, people going to gym. They set a vision that एक साल में मैं पतला हो जाऊंगा. अगर 100 किलो का हूं तो I would be losing weight 20-30 kg. That doesn't happen like that. Trust
right,
me,
right,
6 महीने तक चर्बी वैसी ही रहती है. It doesn't change. But
right,
that is what something people would, they say that, oh, I'm not motivated to go to gym because you don't go every day.
right.
You just go for a day or two and then you don't go.
See, I
Motivation
think it's
comes.
very,
Go.
Abhishek, it's very important also to hire the right coach, and for the coach to be motivated to drive you to your work.
But if you don't have a vision, then the coach or a mentor
Of
would not
course,
help you. That is the
of course,
problem.
of course. It
With
is a
vision.
two-way process.
So you have to be a visionary action taker here. And that's
Right,
what I feel, that people, all the people like me, you, everyone, they all have got Zen in them. And that's what they need to discover. They need to
right,
unlock it. So
right,
how would you unlock it? Because you don't take action. You feel
right,
taking action, but you are somewhere pushed back, pulled out. So that,
right, right.
maybe by your friends, by your families, unknowingly, not, just saying about key, if I want to achieve something, people would demotivate me first. Arey, don't take that risk, that is harmful. See, an
Right,
entrepreneur, yeah, what I found it, I think you would also agree with that. The entrepreneurs, they don't worry about the roadblocks. They
right.
worry about the result. And
Absolutely,
a
absolutely.
person sitting in a comfort zone would always see the roadblocks,
Right,
right? A visionary
right,
action taker would
absolutely. Yeah,
would never take, he would never care about the roadblocks because he knows life is
yeah.
all about roadblocks, which you need
Right.
to.
So, Abhishek, very interestingly, a lot of my clients who hire me, they have very clear vision. They know what they want to achieve. And of course, I help them create a vision statement, a mission statement, a whole roadmap of before and after. Where are you now? What will you achieve, once you get to these things? So, this vision is very clear. But like I said, people who are or who already have that vision, they find the drive themselves, right? And they want to go the length of achieving that vision, to be able to transform themselves, because they see the end result. They are able to see that once I achieve this, or after hiring Sandhya or hiring an image consultant, if I can get to that X point, then my opportunities are unlimited, or I feel more confident and more, I realize my potential more. So thankfully, a lot of my clients and I, we sit down and we have a lot of discussions. So
Yeah.
ideally, my discussions with my client, the first meeting turns into a second meeting, a third meeting. I think by third or fourth meeting, we sit down and we are able to finalize. I'm like, okay, this is what we need to achieve at, or this is where we need to go. So it's quite an interesting journey. It's not like a personality development class where 10 people are, 15 people are put together and everyone is given a single, sheet to work on. It's a
Right.
very tailor-made program looking at a person's specific requirements, his own potential, his own goal and vision in life, and then a program is created.
So it's a tailor-made program, as you said, very structured program.
Yes,
It caters to a particular individual at a time, not a team.
yes,
I have
Yes.
one more question for you from AK Patel, that how to achieve multiple goals at same time and become good at time management. Now that's a question which a lot of people are having at this point of time, that how to
Right.
manage time and how to achieve multiple goals at a time where so is it like focusing on a single thing is now become old fashioned?
No, I have a different take on this, right? I feel that no individual will have only one goal at any point in time. Even right now, I have a goal related to my finances, to my career, to my family, my own personal, potential goals that I have. So there are multiple things that I want to do at any point in time. But the key is prioritization. What do I prioritize right now? For example, if it's a Sunday, today my priority is my family, right? I've spent good time with my husband, I've spent good times buying groceries and all. That is something that I can do today. I don't want to do this on a Monday when my work day starts, right? Now, on Monday, again, what is my priority? On the first day of the week, my priority would be to set tone for the rest of my week, right? To identify things that I want to achieve all through the week, as in when Wednesday को क्या हो जाना चाहिए, Friday तक क्या हो जाना चाहिए, कोई proposal मेरा बाकी है क्या, कोई deal close करना बाकी है क्या. So there are so many things that a person does in a day. You can't be doing one thing. So multitasking, of course, I do, and I have said it in my talks so that I think multitasking is overrated. Doing five things at a time defocuses you, right? Which is why I think every smart individual or everybody who really knows the value of his time would be able to slot time. For example, to do a few things in these 2 hours, to do a few other things in these 2 hours. Of course, smaller things will keep coming up and you will have to kind of manage them. People who are working in offices and all, they cannot do one thing for 2 hours and not look at everything else. But the idea is to be able to slot your time and prioritize your activities, and not just for one day, but then create larger and smaller goals that you can achieve every day.
So you want to say that you have to prioritize your goal according to your time. For
Absolutely. You have
for
to
example,
prioritize time also according to your goals.
For example, I take my example. I work in a recruitment firm for Monday to Friday. It's an international recruitment firm. I work Monday to Friday and I run this show Saturday, Sunday because I know I have some off on Saturday, Sunday, definite off. So I can, channelize my energy in doing what I'm doing right now. So I have
Right.
a goal, but I have, given it a time that, oh, this goal needs to be done on Saturday and Sunday, not on Monday to Friday, as you pointed out. But then
Right.
there are many things, which people feel like, Arey, yaar, I should have given it more time so that it could have developed into a much better picture or a much better product.
Hmm.
So, what sort of issues, your clients face in keeping a proper check at the time?
See, most of my clients who really have big vision for themselves or really larger things that they have, they're working with, do find time a difficult proposition. They sometimes only have 24 hours in a day and they want to work through it, right? These people also have to stay fit. They have to look good for their, not look good for their job, but in general, they, have to carry themselves well. At the same time, they work for multiple organizations, heading multiple organizations. So time does become difficult for them. However, delegation, management skills, communication skills, those are some areas that once you work on them and once you figure out what you need to do and what people around you need to do, and whether you can delegate this to somebody else, whether this is something that you need to do right now yourself, those distinctions are very, very important. So I'll go back to your example, Abhishek. You said that you are working for a recruitment firm Monday to Friday, right?
Yeah.
Which is why you found out these 2 days where you can fit your passion in, right? And I'm sure this is not the only passion you're pursuing. I'm sure there are a couple
No,
of
no.
other things also you're doing, right? So you have
Yeah.
to identify that Monday to Friday you are paid for something. You will have to stay
Of
dedicated to
course.
that.
Of course.
But yeah, so but the other 2 days are your personal days. In that you can dabble into so many other things, create more opportunities for you. The Monday to Friday window can shrink if the Saturday Sunday can be brought mainstream, right? I'm sure
Yeah.
that is also something that you are working
Yeah,
on,
I'm dabbling with
right?
that thought. There are a couple of
Right.
people who have joined, and sorry, couldn't welcome all of them. So now I would be welcoming all of them. So Anurag has joined. Hi Anurag. Hi Abhishek Agarwal. Good to see you. Hi Garima. Garima is saying hello. Hello Garima.
Hello.
And got Vimal Bhavsar. Hi Vimal. Good to see you. So yeah. So you have to be mentally secure, when you want to, achieve something different from what you are doing. If I don't have a job security of Monday to Friday, I wouldn't have even thought of, coming up something with this. So
Absolutely.
how that mental security is required, and, you know, security as in you don't get insecure with time. So how
Right.
security plays an important role in achieving your passion.
Oh, it plays a very important role. Otherwise, there are so many proverbs that we hear that, both your feet in two different boats, you'll not be able to balance anywhere, right? So you have to identify what is running your house, what is your bread and butter. At the same time, what are the things that you want to cultivate on, right? What are the things that you want to grow on? Priority, of course, has to be given to bread and butter in the main 5 days of the week. The other two things you can prioritize for later, as and when you have time. But consistency is the key. Consistency every day, Monday to Friday, and also consistency Saturday and Sunday, the other days, right? Otherwise,
Yeah.
it's very easy to sit back, Abhishek, and watch or Netflix the whole day and not really do anything productive. So that's very easy. But once you have a goal, once you know what you want to achieve, and I often tell people, I'm sure a lot of people who are here with the management background would also know Maslow's theory of hierarchy, or they would know about so many other Stephen Covey's time quadrant and so many tools of time management that are available. Now, one of those tools, if I talk about it, there are times when I've identified that 20% of our life, right, takes care of 80% of our life. So this time, and I tell people with all my seriousness that the age of 25 to 50 has to be your most productive time. If you are wasting this time, if you are, I'm not saying that Netflix mat dekho, right? But इतना मत देखो that आपका productive time चला जाए.
That it
इतना
overpowers your productive time. Yeah.
Absolutely. Don't be on social media so much that you actually, you lose out on the actual active part of life. So, working out, staying fit, planning for your future, investing correctly, earning enough are your priorities right now. So, that is what you need to focus on in this age group. Huh? Once you're 50, 55, you got a retirement fund, you are under 25 and somebody else is going to take care of your allowances. Those are chill times. Those are times that you don't have to worry about. But
But I
25
think
to 50 is the most productive time.
But I have a kind of a different take on this. That I totally agree with you that between 25 to 50 you have the most productive time. But I think being chilled out is also something which will help you in achieving those things. Right?
Yeah,
You
so
can't be serious enough. I have seen people who say, Abhishek, you have to be too much serious for your goals. Yes, I am serious on my goals, but if I smile, if I laugh, that doesn't mean that
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
take my dreams or take my
yeah.
goals seriously. So are there any people who come to you with that you should always look serious, you should always behave seriously, as a trait?
Yeah, no, not to me, not to me, because I like I said that I am also somebody who enjoys as much as she works. I often tell people I earn to travel. That is my passion. It is something that I do very, very often, and a lot of times, whatever I am doing, I'm ensuring that I get a different feel. I can head out. I can do things that I love. So I know that that is a certain priority that I have, right? Being too serious about it and constantly obsessing over it is not something that I think I would advise anybody, because
Mm-hmm.
the more Abhishek, one more thing I'll tell you, that I personally feel that dabbling in extremes is never good. It's the
Yeah.
center, the balance that you have to find in everything, right? So balance between your work and travel, balance between your work and free time, balance between health and food. All of that is a balance that you have to strike. Any extreme, too much of worry and work and no play is also not good. At the same time, too much of play and no work is also definitely not good.
So there has to be a balance in life, right?
Absolutely, in
Has to,
everything.
because anything which overpowers will definitely have some
Yes,
repercussions. So
yes.
balance in life is very important.
Very important.
Okay.
Values
Yeah.
is very important. What do you value in life, right? I will share a small anecdote. I was, and I say this a lot in my trainings also, that me and my brother, when we were young, we were sitting around watching a cricket match, and our exam was there on the next day, and it was it was a cricket match, India versus some other country. And my father comes back and he's a lawyer and he was studying inside in the room. And both of us, two kids who have exam tomorrow, were watching cricket. So he comes out and he tells us, "Beta, इन लोगों को तो इसका पैसा मिलने वाला है. तुम लोगों को कल क्या मिलेगा?" And I will not forget that line. It's not because we value money, but it just showed me that everybody works for a certain reason. That cricketer is working because he's going to earn out of it, because he's paid for that job, because that's the value he's creating. What am I creating by not working on my task today? So that, I think, that is something that I will always remember in my family, my in-laws, everywhere. We have this one statement that we always quote. We always say work first. Social obligations, everything can wait. But जिस काम के लिए आपको hire किया गया है या जिस काम का आप value निकालते हैं, वो चीज पहले कर लेनी चाहिए. So those are
I
certain
think,
values that one
yeah,
individually can live by.
I think economics में एक term है, you might be familiar with it, opportunity cost. See,
Absolutely,
if I
yes.
forego this thing, then what is going to be my opportunity cost of it? So I think ये
Absolutely.
जो this anecdote which you shared,
Yeah.
this is a common thing, which has happened with a lot of people in India because we are a
Yes. Yes. And our these things, right? Every once in a while, they come and give this dialogue to you, and it just stays etched.
true. So just let's take a
Yeah.
last question of this evening from AK Patel. Uh, where you can see to upscale the sales and building business through newspaper, radio, social media, or word of mouth publicity. It's a very good question.
It's a very good question, right? Now, to upscale, what kind of a media you choose, or how do you use a media? Again, I keep talking about the word target audience. Which is your target audience? What is the value that you're generating from them, and how will they achieve that value? Currently, in this scenario, social media is becoming very, important. Online platforms are becoming very, very important. Your target audience might have also shifted from paper-based or physical media to this online platform.
On
So
yes.
reassess, where your audience is right now, and then plan accordingly. So, your own marketing has to also evolve. And I think it is evolving. Marketing, selling is evolving, as in the last 4 months, what we've seen is every industry has made a shift. I would say every customer has made a shift.
Leadership, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was nice interacting with you. Sandhya, you shed light on some very good points and points which every individual is looking for. They're looking for answers. They're
Right.
looking for solutions because problem to people are having endless, but solutions
Right.
to them is what is uh, the requirement of today's time. So thank you. I think you have etched out a very good solution oriented session today, and I enjoyed myself today. But as a custom of the show, I can't leave you without asking those five rapid five questions.
All right. The
So
rapid fire questions. Okay.
yeah, and
All right.
this has to be very very thoda sa hatke. It's going to be a bit entertaining also. I hope the session was entertaining, but this is a cherry on the cake.
All
So
right.
my first question to be, uh, which is that one wardrobe or one fashion trend which you like the most and which you can wear any time till your lifetime.
I think I won't call it a fashion trend. It's the classics that people wear, right? So a nice white shirt and a denim, or those classic clothing that people have. That's something that is going to be on, visible all the while. So not investing in trend, but classics is what I would stick to.
Okay, great sense of fashion. Number two, what are the five things you don't leave home without when you're at work?
All
According
right.
to you.
So in the current scenario, my mask, my sanitizer, my purse in which I can carry these things, my laptop, I never leave that behind. My mobile phone, I has to be with me, and a pen is always handy.
Great. Perfect trait of a businesswoman. And number three, which is that one country which you have not visited yet, but you would plan to visit once this pandemic is over. Which is that one?
My husband has just joined this session, and I think before this pandemic, involved us, we were planning to go to Spain. I think that's one country that I would definitely love to visit. But I think for a long time, or at least another year, I'll only be visiting in India.
Okay. So which is that one go-to place in India which you like the most?
I'd like to go to the eastern side. I've traveled much of India, but then the eastern part, Assam, Guwahati, is something that I would love to explore.
Sikkim, yeah. Even it's there on my list as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's quite there. Okay. Number four. Okay. Which is the worst fashion trend you see? The fashion trend you hate?
Neons.
Neon.
Yeah.
You don't like it? The
I
color?
don't like it. It doesn't suit the Indian color tones, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just too striking for me. I'm more of, like I said, more of a balanced person, more of a Zen person, like you said yourself, more into
Yeah.
classics. So neons are too much of a pop for me.
Mm-hmm. Fifth one, it's a sort of philosophical question. How do you see nowadays that people are, accepting a minimalist lifestyle? They have a lot of things, but would you embrace such thing for minimalism into your lifestyle?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think all of us are going towards it. That's a conversation I've been having with a lot of people. And I knew that you will ask me today, and I knew that I'll give you an example that, Abhishek, in the last 4 months, I haven't bought one thing that is not a consumable. I have not bought any fast fashion, no shoes, no makeup, nothing of that sort. So I'm also trying to ensure that, whatever I have is more conscious. It's bought with a certain mindset, and I'm not just buying things for the heck of it.
Great, great. I think this is the way to look forward. Rather than spending money mindlessly, whatever you have, take the best out of it and then go and buy something which appeals to you.
Which is a classic, which we will wear always, rather than wearing for a few or 15 days and throw away.
So now, because everything has become virtual, you don't get to attend those meetings. So you
Hmm.
don't have to, shop for extra clothes. Which was a thing or two in the past that now.
Yeah.
But whatever you have, you are just trying to take the best out of it, right?
Right. Right. So yeah, and I think this, ever since this pandemic happened, I've been wondering how it will impact my industry, which is based on visual communication, on verbals, on clothing, dressing, accessories. If you see, we're not wearing any accessories. Home does not require much accessories. Going out wearing accessories is exposing yourself to more danger. So
More dangerous.
I think my industry is also going to evolve and become more conscious, hopefully, and that's what I'm waiting to see that transformation.
Great, great, great insights shared by Sandhya, and I hope all of you who had joined or who have joined recently have benefited from our advice. So thank you, Sandhya, for joining in and for sharing your knowledge, vast knowledge, with people who are always out there for some solution and some uh, value-centric shows, I would say. So thank you for being a part of Catch Up Time Season 3.
Thank you, Abhishek, and wish you all the best. I think it was an incredible opportunity for me to come and talk to you and your audience, and I hope it's been of quite a bit of value to people who've tuned in to listen to us. And wish you all the best. I hope you continue, and this season 3 rocks for you even more.
And for the fans or for the people who follow me, we are both from the same city, Ahmedabad. So
Yes,
yeah, so we are going to definitely meet each other very
yes,
soon.
yes.
So definitely I would be looking forward to that meeting where we can have a power packed conversation and all those things.
Absolutely, with our masks on.
Obviously, that
Right.
has to be.
Yes, yes.
So thank you, Sandhya, for joining in. Yeah, and yeah, wishing you a happy Sunday.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Abhishek, and everybody else also. Have a lovely Sunday, and I hope to hear from all of you soon.
Great. Thanks for joining, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Have a awesome Sunday. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.